The sands of Egypt hold many secrets, secrets that have been buried for millennia beneath the shifting dunes and scorching sun. For centuries, archaeologists have been drawn to these arid landscapes, driven by a relentless quest to uncover the mysteries of a bygone era. They search for remnants of a glorious civilization, the ancient Egyptians, whose achievements in art, architecture, and governance continue to awe and inspire us today. Among the most fascinating discoveries are the tombs of Saqqara and Dashur, which stand as silent sentinels to a rich and complex history. These burial grounds offer a glimpse into a world shrouded in mystery, where the living and the dead coexisted in a delicate balance of reverence and ritual. Saqqara, located near Cairo, is home to the Step Pyramid of Djoser, an architectural marvel that has stood the test of time. This architectural marvel, dating back to the 27th century BC, is a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians, showcasing their advanced understanding of engineering and construction. It marked a turning point in tomb construction, paving the way for the iconic pyramids of Giza, which would come to symbolize the zenith of ancient Egyptian architectural prowess. Dashur, another necropolis south of Saqqara, boasts the Bent Pyramid and the Red Pyramid, each with its own unique story and significance. These structures provide valuable insights into the evolution of pyramid design, reflecting the trial and error that ultimately led to the perfection of pyramid construction. The discovery of a high priest's tomb in Saqqara in 2023 sent ripples of excitement through the archaeological community, reigniting interest in this ancient site. This undisturbed tomb, sealed for over 4,400 years, promised a treasure trove of information, offering a rare opportunity to peer into the past. Inside, archaeologists unearthed beautifully preserved artifacts, each piece telling a story of its own. These included intricately designed sarcophagi, vibrant paintings, and everyday objects, all of which provide a window into the daily lives and spiritual beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. These findings offered an unprecedented look into the life and times of the ancient Egyptians, particularly the elite members of their society, whose wealth and status were reflected in the opulence of their burial goods. The tombs of Saqqara and Dashur are not just ancient burial grounds. They are time capsules preserving the beliefs, rituals, and daily lives of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. They preserve the beliefs, rituals, and daily lives of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago, offering us a rare and invaluable glimpse into a world that has long since vanished. The discoveries made in these sites continue to captivate our imagination, drawing us into the enigmatic world of the pharaohs and their subjects. They fuel our desire to learn more about the mysteries of ancient Egypt, a civilization that, despite the passage of millennia, continues to intrigue and inspire us with its enduring legacy. The ancient Egyptians believed in the afterlife, a realm where the soul would continue to exist and thrive. They went to great lengths to ensure the preservation of the body after death, as they believed it was crucial for the soul's journey. This belief led to the development of mummification, a sophisticated and intricate process of preserving human remains for eternity. Mummification was a complex procedure requiring specialized knowledge and skills that were passed down through generations. It was a testament to the ancient Egyptians' advanced understanding of anatomy and their deep-seated belief in the afterlife. The process began with the careful removal of internal organs, which were believed to be vital for the afterlife. These organs were preserved separately in canopic jars, each guarded by a deity to protect the deceased in the afterlife. The body was then meticulously cleansed and dehydrated using a natural salt called natron, which played a crucial role in the preservation process. Natron absorbed all moisture from the body, effectively preventing decomposition and ensuring the body remained intact. After 40 days, the desiccated body was washed and anointed with fragrant oils and resins, which not only helped preserve the body, but also prepared it for the next stage. The next stage involved wrapping the body in multiple layers of linen bandages, a process that could take several weeks to complete. Amulets and protective charms were carefully placed among the layers of bandages to ward off evil spirits and ensure the safety of the deceased in the afterlife. The process culminated with the placement of a mask over the head, which was often crafted to depict the idealized features of the deceased. This mask served not only as a protective covering, but also as a means for the soul to recognize its body in the afterlife. Finally, the mummy was placed in a sarcophagus, often adorned with intricate carvings and paintings that depicted scenes from the deceased's life and their journey to the afterlife. Mummification was not a practice limited to the pharaohs and the elite. It was a widespread tradition that extended to people from all walks of life. People from different social strata underwent mummification, albeit with varying levels of complexity and opulence, reflecting their status and wealth. The preservation of the body was considered essential for the soul's journey in the afterlife, as it ensured that the deceased could continue their existence in the next world. It allowed the spirit to recognize and reunite with the body in the afterlife, a reunion that was believed to be crucial for the soul's eternal journey and well-being. The process of preparing a body for burial went beyond the physical act of mummification. It was a meticulous and sacred procedure that involved various stages, each with its own significance. The body was carefully washed and purified, then treated with natron to dehydrate and preserve it. This was followed by the wrapping of the body in linen, a process that could take several weeks to complete. Each step was performed with great care and reverence, ensuring that the deceased was properly prepared for their journey to the afterlife. It was deeply intertwined with religious beliefs and elaborate rituals. The ancient Egyptians believed that the proper performance of these rituals was essential for the deceased to successfully navigate the afterlife. Priests and family members would recite prayers and incantations, calling upon the gods to protect and guide the soul of the departed. These rituals were not only a way to honor the dead, but also to ensure their safe passage to the next world. These ceremonies played a crucial role in facilitating the deceased's journey to the underworld. The journey was believed to be fraught with challenges and obstacles, and the rituals performed by the living were meant to provide the deceased with the tools and protections they needed to overcome these trials. The priests would perform specific rites to open the way for the soul, ensuring that it could reach the hall of judgment, where it would be weighed against the feather of Ma'at, the goddess of truth and justice. The ancient Egyptians believed that death was not the end, but a transition to another realm. This belief was reflected in their elaborate burial practices and the care they took in preparing the deceased for the afterlife. They envisioned the afterlife as a continuation of life on earth, where the soul would live on in a paradise known as the Field of Reeds. This eternal life was seen as a reward for living a righteous and pious life, and the rituals performed during the funeral were meant to ensure that the deceased could enjoy this eternal bliss. Funerary rituals often started with a procession. This was a solemn and dignified event where the body of the deceased was transported from their home to their final resting place. The procession was led by priests who chanted prayers and hymns, followed by family members and mourners who carried offerings and personal belongings of the deceased. This journey was symbolic of the soul's transition from the world of the living to the world of the dead. Mourners would accompany the mummy to its final resting place. This was a time of great sorrow and reflection as family and friends said their final goodbyes. The procession would often include stops at significant locations where additional rituals and prayers were performed. These stops were meant to honor the deceased and to seek the blessings of the gods for their journey to the afterlife. They would sing hymns and offer prayers to guide the deceased's soul. These hymns and prayers were carefully chosen for their spiritual significance, and they were believed to have the power to protect and guide the soul on its journey. The mourners would also make offerings of food, drink, and other items that the deceased might need in the afterlife. These offerings were placed in the tomb alongside the body, ensuring that the deceased would have everything they needed for their eternal life. Priests performed elaborate ceremonies, including the opening of the mouth ritual. This was one of the most important rituals in the funerary process, as it was believed to restore the deceased's senses and abilities. The ritual involved touching the mouth of the mummy with a special tool, symbolically opening it so that the deceased could eat, drink, and speak in the afterlife. This ritual was performed with great care and precision, as it was essential for the well-being of the soul in the next world. This ritual was believed to restore the deceased's senses, allowing them to eat, drink, and speak in the afterlife. It was a symbolic act that ensured the deceased could fully participate in the activities of the afterlife. The opening of the mouth ritual was often depicted in tomb paintings and inscriptions, highlighting its importance in the funerary process. These depictions served as a reminder of the care and devotion that the living showed to their departed loved ones. Tombs were lavishly furnished with everyday objects, food and drink offerings, and precious possessions. These items were carefully chosen to provide the deceased with everything they might need in the afterlife. The tombs were often filled with furniture, clothing, jewelry, and other personal belongings, as well as food and drink to sustain the soul. These provisions were meant to ensure that the deceased could live comfortably and enjoyably in the next world. These provisions were meant to sustain the deceased in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed that the soul would continue to need nourishment and comfort, just as it did in life. The offerings of food and drink were regularly replenished by family members and priests, ensuring that the deceased would never go without. This practice reflected the deep love and respect that the living had for their departed loved ones, and their desire to ensure their well-being in the afterlife. They reflect the ancient Egyptians' belief in a continued existence beyond the mortal realm. The tombs and their contents were a testament to the belief that life did not end with death, but continued in a different form. The care and attention given to the preparation of the tomb and the performance of the rituals were a reflection of the importance of the afterlife in ancient Egyptian culture. This belief in a continued existence provided comfort and hope to the living, as they knew that their loved ones were not truly gone, but had simply moved on to a new phase of existence. The deceased's social status and wealth often dictated the grandeur of the tomb and the richness of the offerings. Wealthy and influential individuals were buried in elaborate tombs filled with luxurious items and adorned with intricate decorations. These tombs were a reflection of their status in life, and they were meant to ensure that the deceased could continue to enjoy a high standard of living in the afterlife. The grandeur of the tomb and the richness of the offerings were also a way for the living to honor and remember the deceased, and to ensure that their legacy would be preserved for future generations. The walls of the tombs were adorned with colorful paintings and hieroglyphic inscriptions. These decorations were not only beautiful, but also served a practical purpose. The paintings often depicted scenes from the deceased's life, as well as images of the gods and the afterlife. The hieroglyphic inscriptions included prayers, spells, and incantations that were meant to protect the soul and guide it on its journey. These decorations were a way to ensure that the deceased would be remembered and honored, and that their soul would be safe and well cared for in the afterlife. These depictions provided glimpses into the deceased's life, their social standing, and their aspirations for the afterlife. The scenes often showed the deceased engaging in activities they enjoyed in life, such as hunting, feasting, and spending time with loved ones. These images were a way to ensure that the deceased could continue to enjoy these activities in the afterlife. The hieroglyphic inscriptions often included biographical information, as well as prayers and spells that were meant to protect and guide the soul. These depictions and inscriptions were a way to honor the deceased and to ensure that their memory would be preserved for future generations. The scenes often portrayed the deceased engaging in activities they enjoyed in life. These activities were believed to continue in the afterlife, providing the soul with comfort and joy. The paintings often showed the deceased hunting, feasting, and spending time with loved ones, as well as engaging in other leisure activities. These images were a way to ensure that the deceased could continue to enjoy these activities in the afterlife, and they were a reflection of the belief that the afterlife was a continuation of life on earth. These included hunting, feasting, and spending time with loved ones. The ancient Egyptians believed that the soul would continue to need these activities in the afterlife, just as it did in life. The paintings and inscriptions in the tombs were a way to ensure that the deceased could continue to enjoy these activities, and they were a reflection of the belief that the afterlife was a continuation of life on earth. These depictions were a way to honor the deceased and to ensure that their memory would be preserved for future generations. They believed these activities would continue in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians envisioned the afterlife as a paradise where the soul could continue to enjoy the pleasures and comforts of life on earth. The paintings and inscriptions in the tombs were a way to ensure that the deceased could continue to enjoy these activities, and they were a reflection of the belief that the afterlife was a continuation of life on earth. These depictions were a way to honor the deceased and to ensure that their memory would be preserved for future generations. The mummies of ancient Egypt are more than just preserved bodies. They are time capsules that hold valuable information about the health and lifestyles of people who lived thousands of years ago. By studying the skeletal remains of mummies, scientists can glean insights into ancient diseases, nutrition, and even the medical practices of the time. Examination of mummies' bones and teeth can reveal a wealth of information about their diet and overall health. Analysis of bone density can indicate periods of malnutrition or illness. The presence of certain isotopes in the bones can reveal information about the types of food consumed. Dental wear patterns provide clues about dietary habits and food preparation techniques. Scientists have discovered evidence of various diseases in mummies. These include arthritis, tuberculosis, and parasitic infections. The presence of these diseases offers a glimpse into the health challenges faced by ancient Egyptians. It also provides insights into their medical practices and their understanding of diseases. The study of mummies has also revealed evidence of ancient medical treatments. Healers in ancient Egypt used a combination of natural remedies, spells, and surgical procedures. Evidence of bone setting, dentistry, and even rudimentary surgery indicates a sophisticated understanding of human anatomy and a desire to alleviate suffering.